Yeah, welcome to Evercast, everybody.
I'm a bird.
We've got Bird, we've got Pete. Oh, there's Crow.
I'm still a bird.
Welcome.
And Gandalf is missing again.
Yeah, he'll get off it, I'm sure.
Isn't he on holiday? Isn't he down like in the Caribbean somewhere?
He was. I think he got back a couple days ago.
Hey, I'm surprised if he's here before we start.
Yeah.
So, guys, how's everybody doing? What's everyone been up to? The usual stuff?
My usual stuff is just like any random thing, pretty much.
I just got off holiday, so I'm in a holiday brain yet.
Nice.
And there's still people shocked that you're on camera. I guess they missed it last time.
What? I've always got a camera. People have a camera. Yeah. Yes, I have a camera.
He has always had a camera.
I've always had a camera.
Nice. All right. Well, let's see who's in the chat. An archive gig. Channel member Lloyd JRM. We've got Rusta. Ed forgot to whip his poll out. Yeah. Polls will come back next week.
I have polls going.
Oh, yeah, you do. That's right. Yeah, you do.
I find my poll.
Hey, J South.
I have a fishing pole upstairs. I could go get that.
Oh, he says it's channel member. He says he was missed. We were missed. We were all missed last week. Thank you. Tails had so many channel members. Got Dub 64. Terry Fan 72. We've got Thomas. And then we have Phantom Fiction, channel member Phantom Fiction, Nathan Foster. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Evercast.
You know, because we didn't do this last week, it cost me $3,500.
Oh, because you went to the arcade show?
No, because I went to a furniture store and wound up buying a living room set.
But how much time do you spend in your living room compared to your basement?
How much what?
How much time do you spend in your living room compared to your basement?
I don't spend it. The living room is my wife's domain.
Oh, so you
mine.
It was a good investment then.
Yeah, it was for her. She just wanted one chair, and I'm like, well, why don't we just buy the whole set? That way everything matches.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
The sales guy saw you coming.
Yeah, he marked you.
No, they didn't, because we told them what we wanted, and at first they're like, I don't think we have any of those, and they're like, maybe over there. And we went in the opposite direction and found exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah, I just noticed, Corey, you trimmed your beard a little bit, didn't you? Like just a little bit.
Like a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I noticed. I don't know why I just like noticed it. Living room sets are a trap, AJ. So, well, I wish I could say we had some stuff in the news, but
well, there is. What do you mean?
What?
Are you
well, it's the end of the month.
It was a new thing released, wasn't it?
Because we missed 2 weeks. Well, there's a new game of the month that was recent that I didn't even bother looking at.
Was that the Agatha Christie one?
No, there's one
Border
after
Collie.
that. A Border Collie. It's as far as what I read was it's a tower defense game, and I'm not really a big fan of those.
Oh, that got released, didn't it?
But it might be all right. But then there was that new cartridge announcement last week that we never talked about.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, that's what we skipped. Yeah, that's right.
I'm not particularly excited about it, but there was a new cartridge announcement.
Well, it's never like I knew we were going to get a British theme one, so that was going to come, right? So it made sense. So I'm sure that side of the pond's super excited about it. I haven't looked at it really yet, outside of just because their trailers are kind of hard to figure out the games, right?
Well, yeah, but then that's just if you're really curious about those games, you can either look it up. Or,
I guess I wasn't really curious.
Well, hello.
What I found interesting about it is that we've already had a Bitmap Brothers Collection 1, but it was a console, but the 2 is actually a different color.
It's a computer.
So doesn't that kind of mess things up a bit?
I have
if
no
you're
idea.
sorting by color.
I stopped trying to figure it out, Crow, like a long time ago. I don't really, to be honest with you, I stopped caring about that. I'm just like, okay, what's the games like?
I'm okay with it.
I'm looking forward to this actually.
I don't know. I haven't played or seen any of these games before.
And I think this is another situation where there's like one or two console games in this mix.
Yeah,
There's
one of them is a console game. It's I think there's an asterisk in the list.
Yeah.
Scroll down, the name of the game has an asterisk.
So why
Yeah,
do
if you get
colors anymore? Like,
Z. It's Z.
They should have just
It's
kept
Z.
them. They should have just had two colors. Console, computer, and then. Arcade.
yeah, like I'm trying to figure out why do colors, right? Like if it's, I don't know, the cadaver one looks interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Those type of games were like really popular over in the UK. Those 3D isometric platformer and puzzle games.
yeah.
It's like long.
There's two of them right there. Oh, that's Cadaver and Cadaver, the payoff.
Yeah, they better be
I
able to
played-
control. That's the big thing.
It's not bad. Have you ever played Qbert? It's kind of like that, where you kind of just have to train your mind to, if you're going up, you're actually going up and diagonally.
Yeah, I think it's, I don't know. I'm like, I think their side scrollers look interesting, but you know what scares me is because all the great famous side scrollers are already known, right, from those eras. So this is unknown to me because I've never heard of these games before. So I'm like, when I think, I think a good Sky, I think a Castlevania, Shinobi, they're all famous. None of these are on that list, but is it because they were on computer and didn't get any fanfare? I'm not sure.
Well, a lot of these had Genesis ports too, like Gods.
Which scares me even more because they weren't able to break through on the Genesis, right? So anyway,
I mean, so what excites me about this particular set is the fact that as soon as the first set of games, way back when they announced Bitmap Brothers 1, everyone was talking about how Cadaver and Gods weren't on the list, and they needed to be, and they said it over and over and over and over and over again. Finally, we're getting them. I'm like, all right, fine. At least there's people that are looking forward, to those two. So
I'm intrigued by those just because I really want to see how they play, and if they're any good. But then, I mean, I guess I'm just waiting to play these games, so I don't really have a big opinion on if they're bad or not, right? So because I don't know anything about them.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
but
I think is this the one
this...
the fan favorite? I guess they said they got 4 cards. This would be the fan favorite.
Yeah.
I don't know. If this is,
I mean, I would say,
the most requested.
So.
Yeah.
It's either that or it's the most requested. Yeah.
I mean, I wonder who's their biggest sales market. If it's England, they're doing fine.
It's
going to
be
the US.
UK.
This is probably a miss from the sales opportunity. I'm not sure. That would be nice to know. Is them to say, hey, where do they sell most of their cards? Europe, England, or the US?
It's probably Europe.
I would think maybe. I'm not sure, right? Because the US is 10 times the market, right?
Well, especially if they're doing collections like this.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is. I would say if I were to take a stab at it, I would say 2/3 Europe, 1/3 over here.
Well, I'll let you know. I'll give you a report from the field because I'm going to be leaving to go to Germany next Sunday for a week, and I'll go to some retro shops and see if Evercade's there.
Nice.
Or to some
Ooh,
that's very cool.
That'd be cool. And then these are the other two. Then we get Chaos Engine 2, and then the other Z.
Chaos Engine 2 disappointing. That's the only one I didn't like because I don't like the split screen aspect of it. The 4 split screen, like racing games on the back in the day, were like that.
So even if you play one player, it's still split screen?
Yeah, I would think.
Man.
Just like race car games back. You remember Top Racer and stuff back in the day?
Yeah.
Maybe somebody who's from England who played this game. I'm pretty sure single player you're playing against a computer most likely, or competing against a computer.
Well,
I
think Z is the one that is a PlayStation game. And
yes, it is.
I'm not really looking forward to that.
It says
a strategy game.
Strategy game.
It's a real-time strategy game, which is a genre I really don't like.
Well, I do like the genre, but I like it with a mouse.
And you know what? Yeah. That's why we get the PlayStation version because they don't have mouse support.
Yeah.
Maybe they listened.
No, they didn't because otherwise we'd get the Amiga version.
Yeah. Well, I mean, wasn't this on Amiga's 32 CD or something like that?
No, I think it was just on a regular. It might have been, but it was probably already just on.
So is that the game
Amiga.
with the asterisk on it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
All right. Yeah, this one, I guess underwhelming is too strong of a word. I'm just okay. It's perfectly
Yeah.
put. Like I'll reserve judgment until I play it. To be honest with you.
yeah.
So
Well-
I will say, compared to last year, for me, like this year in general, so far is underwhelming because we haven't gotten like something that's made me super excited, like the Dukes or the Astro-Bros. I'm still waiting on that. But
I think the
exciting.
Tomb Raider will be that for a lot of people. It won't be for me because I remember that game on the PlayStation. How bad it was, the control. So,
Yeah, I mean, I'm hype about Tomb Raider. I thought I
Yeah.
think it's a great get, and it's I kind of liked it, but yeah, you're right. There's not going to be a lot of huge.
yeah, it's not Duke. Like,
It
let's
isn't
be
Duke.
honest. Duke took
It
over the
isn't
world,
Duke. No, you're right.
right? But again, though, that's to us because apparently the Tomb Raider is the highest pre-order item they've ever had, more than the Duke. So it's more mainstream, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, yeah, I'm like, they need to have a big end of the year for me to say this is their best year yet. I think it's probably I'd say last year was probably their best year in my opinion. And
Yeah, that's pretty huge.
And the year they introduced arcade carts, so 2 years ago, was their second best year for me. So this one would have to end really well with a banger for me to get in the top 3.
So the thing is, like, it's interesting that because it's in time, they didn't come out either that next week or even later on that week after this announcement and announce the other one.
Yeah.
Very interesting that we haven't heard.
Yeah, that's
the
thing I was wondering. I thought like in a day or two they would announce the other one because usually that's what they would do. Like the
I was
one that would
checking
come with this one.
I was checking every day.
Well, I wouldn't even need to check because every time they put out a video on YouTube, I get like a notification.
Well, yeah.
So that's how I get notified half the time that there's a new cartridge, and I get a notification that they put up a video and it's a trailer of the next cartridge.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of expecting to see the one that would pair with this like the next day, and it's already been like a week and a half, 2 weeks,
right?
And nothing.
Yeah. Well, it's very interesting that's happening, and it makes me, I don't know, I guess it makes me put the conspiracy theory hat back on and go, well, then you know what? Maybe this one is actually going to be something pretty huge because maybe they're tied to some kind of other thing. Maybe there's some kind of agreement with the publisher. Oh, we're going to announce it at a specific time and a specific date. And that's why we're not hearing the pair. It's also very good that we don't already know what it is because no other retailers have done any like leaks or there's no other things, which is it's still nebulous. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Would Mortal Kombat be a big enough? Actually, I guess this is directed towards you.
I would say, for me personally, it would be for the world. I think Mortal Kombat, but I love first Mortal Kombat, second Mortal Kombat, but I don't know if people know this, but I'm a huge fan of the Mortal Kombat story versions of their game, like the 8, 9, 10, 11, all those games. Like I play them a lot.
I'm pretty sure we're not going to get those.
Yeah, but no, because they're PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and upward.
Yeah,
I would think for me, which would be a banger, because I have super nostalgia for it, and I would love to play it because I can't afford to buy them because they're too expensive, would be the NES Mega Man games.
Ooh.
I would flip my lid for those, or the Mega Man X series on the PlayStation or the Super Nintendo. I think is Mega Man X, because they're different Mega Man, right? But I would take the NES Mega Man collection because I think that's like 6 games would be amazing.
That would be pretty huge.
And then on top of that, a Doom Wolfenstein combination would be the biggest banger ever. The original Doom 1 and 2 and the Wolfenstein collection would be awesome. I would take both of those in a heartbeat.
What version, though? You're talking about the DOS versions?
Yeah, the computer versions, most likely. Yep. Not the Super Nintendo version.
We need mouse support then.
Yeah, but they can work their magic. They've been released on Steam and stuff. With
make it simple for yourself and give us mouse support.
Yeah.
Bother mapping everything to a controller.
That would be something that would be kind of cool.
They're making a new Doom for Super Nintendo. Actually, Bethesda is or whoever makes Doom. Is it Bethesda?
Oh
wait, they're gonna put an SNES card out with Doom.
Yeah.
No way.
They just announced it at QuakeCon.
I'll
tell you. Yeah, they
cool.
did that. They did an enhanced version of PC. Just me though, I've never been a fan of like first-person shooter ports that have been on PC because they're always like inferior. But I guess it's cool for those who want it.
They work magic with Doom on Super Nintendo, dude. I don't know how they did that. But they're also making a Doom 1 and 2 new game to go on the Switch. Like that has all kinds of extras in it.
Yeah. No, it's already out. Yeah, it's already out.
No, they're making another. They're making a version of it that upgrades that one to a brand new version.
It's out.
They did
That's what I'm
release it
saying.
yesterday.
Yeah, you can get it for Switch. You can get it for Steam.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So the
Yeah.
originals are there. Doom 1 and 2 are already on the Switch, so they released their upgraded version of it.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
snap! That's awesome.
I think on Fanatical you can get the Steam version for like $1.50. You're used to it.
Fanatical. That's why I'm mad at Crow. Crow introduced me to
Because I
Fanatical
told you
a couple
about
years
that.
ago. I don't know how many mystery boxes I bought from Fanatical.
No.
And
It does do it on Steam Deck. It works. Yeah.
I'm trapped in another world on Switch right now, so
yeah, anything.
nothing
on
else
Steam
matters to me.
works with controller, for
Yeah.
the most part. Yeah, so I don't know what I don't think they're gonna do another banger this year. I think Tomb Raider's their banger for this year,
Well,
right?
there's 3 more they need to announce, right?
Yeah, I know, but I mean
Oh.
the banger is the Tomb Raider one. It has to be.
Not to me. I don't.
I hope not.
No, for them, I think that's their big get this year.
I think there's I don't know. I'm always wrong, so don't believe the word I say.
Dude, it's,
But I think it's not over yet, and I think they've got one
Yeah.
more, and it's going to be awesome. It's just going to be like,
Yes.
wow, okay, that's a good get. That's a great get. Now it might not rise to the level of Tomb Raider for everyone, but something is going to happen. There's going to whatever this cart is going to be something that'll be like, this is a crowd pleaser for either like a half a niche or a niche, but it's going to be big enough where people are going to be like, oh, okay.
You know
And I
what
think
would be a
I think it's
banger
gonna
for
be
me? If they got Rogue Legacy 1 or 2 or Shovel Knight 1 and 2. Like if they had one of those.
Yeah.
Something on
amazing.
those lines. I think is going to be. That's where I think we're going to wind up. It's a pretty big name, but like I said, in a niche.
Bubsy. Do you remember when Bubsy was introduced for Super Nintendo? When Bubsy was being advertised, it was the new it was being presented as going to be the big mascot for the Super Nintendo, and
Yeah.
it's like and the Genesis, it was going to be taking over everything. Bubsy was, and it really did.
Yeah.
I can tell you it won't be Resident Evil. Capcom.
Papa Brad is suggesting Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3. He must be watching some RGT. RGT has had that conspiracy theory now for like 3 months.
Okay, well, if there's actually that means that Capcom games on a cartridge.
Exactly.
Right. Well, that's why I don't believe it. But
Dingy
he
Capcom.
seems to think that there's something out there. There's some kind of crazy thing. He's actually reached out. Sean reached out to the guys over at Blaze and specifically asked them about the Resident Evil 1, 2, 3 because he found out that there was new listings on the PEGI side of things, not the ESRB side of things, but specifically the PEGI side of things for 1, 2, and 3. And he was like, "Oh wait, well, what if it's Evercade? You know, what if they're pre-rating the game as PEGI just because they're going to put out a cart with these 3 games on it."
That's why maybe they got the Giga carts going.
And that's what he said. Like, it's Giga carts. They can put all 3 games on there, make it a Resident Evil trilogy. It'd be ridiculous. And then he got all hype about it, and I was like, I still don't. I mean, okay,
more than one
Capcom
Giga cart
to enter the cart world, but also if you do that, and then in the next 6 or 8 months, don't then put what's already been on the hardware on a cart, people are going to get real mad. So I don't know. It's a weird situation. I don't think it's that. But then again, since they're waiting so long, and the carts that are going to be coming out are in late September or December now, those slots that are available. I mean, you could hit the Halloween thing. I mean, it's possible. The marketing's there. The marketing opportunity is there. I mean, you never know. I don't know though. Like I don't think it's that. But I don't want to say what I think it is because again, I'm always wrong. So as soon as something enters the fray out of my face, in a prediction, it's just wrong. So like,
Well, if they
I'm just not
actually
going to say anything because then I'll be pleasantly surprised if it's actually something I want.
if they actually did put Resident Evil on a cartridge, I'd be more curious. Like, hey, I wonder if they're going to come out with another Capcom collection because I'm not really interested in playing any Resident Evil game again.
I mean, so I don't know. I mean, I would, because I didn't do any of the waves of remakes that came out in the last 4 or 5 years.
I
haven't
haven't
even
either.
played
Single one of
Resident
them.
Evil.
And I haven't played the original Resident Evil since
I have.
forever ago.
The
And
first
it's
one's
on
really cheesy.
PlayStation, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I
played it on
I
the
could
first
deal with tank
PlayStation,
controls. You
and
know,
I hated it. But the only Resident Evil game I ever played was Resident Evil Revelations. I finished that one on the boat. That was it.
Ooh.
that's pretty good.
And that's
I
not
would-
really a Resident
see that.
Evil game. It's kind of an offshoot.
Yeah, I mean GTA 1, 2 plus London. I mean, I guess that would also be another good get for the European markets because those games were real hot there. But I just never got into them.
Yeah, they weren't
I
popular. in
played
the
one.
US.
I
You
just
can-
couldn't get into it. I don't know
Yeah.
why. But
So are we saying that maybe Blaze has some license deals like in the works that's why they're like delaying this stuff? I would love to think that. But
yeah, 100%. The longer this goes without the announcement, the bigger my expectations are for the cart.
And then the
because-
bigger your disappointment's going to be when they actually announce it.
Yes,
Exactly.
it's possible. It is very possible. But I'm thinking it's going to be something we haven't seen before. It's going to be pretty big, but it's not going to be like mega, right? Because they already do that. So all the mega announcements, I think they tie those into what E3 used to be, right? That time frame. You get that announcement late April, early May, early June, and it's always tied to something that they can it's that and hardware, right? You get those announcements, then you get the hype build, you get the pre-order build, and all that kind of stuff, and all the carts that surround it are complementary and sometimes really awesome, but they're all complementary. So like I'm in the zone of this should be a very high complementary cart. That's the big one is what they're saying. In my opinion, that's what it is. And then 100% something indie, and then I don't know, whatever.
Well,
Just
I'm preparing
apart.
myself for disappointment because I'd rather be pleasantly surprised if it happens to be something good.
There you go. I mean, but it's this is the part of the fun, I guess, right? Like we're sitting there, we're talking, whatever. But I'm actually really looking forward. Getting back to what we were just talking about, I'm really actually very much looking forward to Bitmap 2 because every single one of those games is something I have not played at all, and I love carts like that. I absolutely love carts like that because it's like, okay, pure discovery, awesome. I put it in, and it's just like getting brand new games for me, which is great. So, following Rich's Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. Now, so see that would also be huge in that same thing, and I would be very, very happy.
Yeah, that's more niche though, right? Like
It is.
I wouldn't call that a
100%.
massive announcement.
100%. But I'd be very happy about that.
You know how if they got like Mortal Kombat, I was just thinking like the trailer that they could do.
Maybe
Kind of like
Oh yeah, that would be cool though.
For Ed.
They could have a fun time with it.
like they could be like tearing a switch in half or something. Mortal Kombat.
Well, the what would kill for a Mortal Kombat is if they put Mortal Kombat Trilogy on it.
Yeah.
The PlayStation version.
Mm.
But for the other ones, I'd rather see the arcade version. So I don't know if
Yeah,
they
me
would
too.
do a
That's what I
card
want,
that was
yeah.
like there would be an well, they're doing computer collections with one console game on it. Why not do an arcade collection with one console game on it?
Yeah, right. I mean, I wouldn't mind it if it was
Actually,
just one and they had like 1, 2, 3, and trilogy, right?
1, 2,
Or-
3, Ultimate, and Trilogy.
Okay, yeah, I'd take that.
Well,
Now, I wouldn't
someone's
mind
reason they're
seeing
going to do an arcade cart just because they got an arcade machine coming out, right?
Right.
True.
Oh, that's the other thing, right?
Yeah, I would think that there would be more arcade carts coming out because of that.
Isn't there one? Just one.
When is that coming out? The what is it called?
I
The
thought-
alpha, beta?
Oh, 2.
I thought it was
November.
November.
And there are 2.
Yes.
There are 2 carts
Yeah.
that come with it, right? There are two alongside it.
Yeah.
There's
Aren't
two of them. I
Totally
don't think
agree.
they come. Yeah. You mean separately, not
Yeah,
bundled
separately,
in.
but they're
yeah.
they're
I think there
releasing
is
on the
supposed to
same
be.
month.
But this Bitmap Brothers one, isn't that announced for November?
No,
Is
it's a
that
September
some-
cart. They
that's
made a
September?
mistake in
Okay.
the
Yeah.
trailer.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
think
they
it was
got
really-
the new version of trailers. They got like a little blurred box
Yeah.
in the trailer.
Yeah, actually, yeah. The original trailer had the date
Had
there.
November.
And then they may have re-uploaded it and blurred the date.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Which makes me think that, oops, that's the wrong date.
Oh,
It's not,
absolutely.
ready
Well,
for
I
pre-order
knew
yet.
it right away because when I was doing the news line in the airport, I saw the November date, and then I went to the website and it said September, and I'm like, oops.
You can't pre-order it yet, though, right?
No.
No.
You'll be able to pre-order it the week that the VSR and the EXPR are released.
When are they released again? That got delayed,
The end
right?
of this month,
It got
think?
delayed to the end of this
Yeah.
month. So they should start getting shipping notifications from Funstock if you ordered there. I don't know. I'd say 10 days from now, you get your shipping notification that it's shipped.
Woohoo!
So that's where we're at there, and that's pretty cool, right? We're 10 days
And the
away
grip.
from new
Don't
hardware
forget
and all
about
that.
the grip.
Yeah, but
Look-
the hardware is not really special because it's
Yeah, it's
worse
just
than
another,
what we have.
it's just
So
another
I'm not
thing.
excited about that.
It's only special if
I'm
you
still
plan on
getting the-
opening it up and seeing if there's anything different on the inside.
Well, and that's I actually might. I've never done one of those things, but I might do that. So I have an EXPR on order, and I just wanted to see if they actually did they make the case just a little bit smaller. Is there any kind of differences in the grip or anything like that? Like I want to see. I want to see what's going on.
I think it's got to be exactly the same size. Just
It
with
will
some
be.
plugs removed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're probably using the same mold. You know, I don't think they would have made another.
Yeah, molds are expensive.
Yeah, I mean RMGB's TV's talking Sega Konami. I mean it's surprising that with all of the moves that have been happening on the Sega side lately, that there hasn't been more motion anywhere else.
I know.
Like not just in Evercade. You know, like why isn't Sega just like fire hosing their IP all over the place again? Because like to build up hype for their new projects. It's weird. It's interesting that is not happening yet. Just putting that out there. Because that's usually their MO. It's like, oh, they got a new game coming out, and then all of a sudden, like 12 collections will show up randomly. And you're like, wait, what? Actually, there is one coming out.
Well, Sega has all those remasters coming out, right? Like
Yeah, they do.
Well, yeah, so that's what I'm saying. They announced those are their big projects.
We haven't heard anything on those in a while.
Oh, apparently Sega withdrew from all licensing. Ooh, all right.
Oh crap! Well, I guess we won't be seeing a Sega collection then.
Oh, well, if they don't want, I guess they don't want extra Dolores.
I guess not.
Yeah,
really.
Wants a fortune for anything. Yeah, it makes sense.
Really, unless a company just doesn't like Blaze or they think that like Evercade is a trash product, I don't understand why they would never want to give a license because it's free money.
I can understand why. It's the same reason why, like they did. A lot of companies didn't want to like go deal with Nintendo or Atari back in those days because they were like, well, Nintendo, Atari were like, well, we have to make the cartridges, and you've got to pay us a fee for that.
Mm-hmm.
So these companies, they may want to make their own cartridges, and Blaze is telling them, no, we have to make the cartridges.
But they can't make their own cartridges. But they can't make their own cartridges for Evercade. See,
yes, they can. If they really wanted to, think about it. Atari 2600, think how many companies made their own cartridges. They're different shapes. With Nintendo, unlicensed cartridges, the Tengen carts, the Color Dream carts, they're all different shapes because they made their own cartridges.
They could, but I'll tell you why. It would be, for the price point, it would be way too expensive for them to. But that's what I mean. All they have to do is make a signature, and Blaze does everything else, and they get money.
I mean, they just may have a policy against that. They were like, well,
so
they may not. Like they don't want to give up control for the potential amount of money they would make.
Truthfully, what I think, and what I think it is, and the problem with bigger companies, I just think they're so far removed that they don't even really understand. Like they don't understand retro video games, and they barely understand video games in general. I don't know. That's like EA, for example. That's my hot take on that. They're like, no, we don't want to have these games for this little Evercade device, but like whatever. We'll see. So if Sega's out, then I don't know. Konami, TurboGrafx, SNK. I think we need something of that hype level, or like an indie game of that hype level. I don't know.
I think those other ones, like a TurboGrafx, SNK kind of thing, that might actually fall under that whole like big but niche kind of thing as well. You know, like there's a lot of fans out there for that, but the community is pretty small. You know, for those kind of things. So that, I could see that. I could see that happening. Especially if it wound up being like SNK and they did arcade carts, because then it makes sense.
The other problem though too is like like some of these games may require like they would want such fees to put them on the cartridge that it may not be worth it to Blaze to like put out a cartridge that only has like 1 or 2 games on it.
There's no money.
There's a way around that.
Yeah,
there might be no
because
money.
that's not very appealing to the customer. Like to pay $20, $25 and yet. Like
I don't think Evercade should ever go past the $30 range. Like I think it would be a huge mistake if they ever go past $29.99 for a cart US. Like then it becomes, then why would I buy that over that?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly right.
Or any budget game like, you know, Helldivers on PlayStation 5 is $49. Like why would I, like, you know, that's $49 Canadian. Like that the big boys now are shipping games on Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox mid-price. So, you know, Evercade needs to stay in that sub-30 price point for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, there's 2 ways to get it. You know, having multiple collections.
Of Astroborg, if anyone's asking.
Oh, cool. Like having multiple collections, that's a way to get around. And I'm telling you, Blaze needs to do a deal where they say, fine, we'll take this collection at cost. We'll give you guys this profit, but if we sell X amount of units, like if we sell 100,000, then we get like 50%, something like that. They need to take a chance so they're not losing any money. And then if this thing becomes popular, then they get a boatload of money. And not only that, then Evercade gets huge popularity, right? Like it just puts them on the board.
The way it works for licensing is if you want to license a product or you want to ship something, usually the licensor needs a upfront fee. So you pay for the rights to own the IP. And then once that's done, the next part of the license is based on sales, and it's a scale. So based on how much royalties you get. So if you sell 100,000 units, they might get 10%. If you sell 200,000 units, they'll get 8%. And the higher it goes up, the less they get. But they usually have to earn that back, the initial payment you gave first, before the person who's putting it on their device or console or whatever gets money back. That's how licensing works in video games.
Yeah,
and I'm a pretty big expert on that, so don't think otherwise. I'm just saying that's what I do for a living. So.
Yeah, I believe you.
Rich knows what I'm talking about.
Yes.
The Blaze needs to take the chance and pay up on one of these big titles.
That's what I mean. They have to pay for the rights for it, and then they have to make sure their licensing fees after when it goes to market and their royalty fees allows them to recoup money. So basically, if I pay $1 for Mortal Kombat 1. I pay $1 to who owns Mortal Kombat? Who owns that license?
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers.
Okay, I'm going to pay $1 for it. Then I'm going to put it out. I need to earn that $1 back before I give Warner Brothers money again. That's how it works. So the company gets taken care of. I earn my $1 back, and then after that, the royalties kick in, and then it's a revenue share. That's how it works.
Gotcha.
99% of the time.
So maybe Capcom could say, if you want a physical cart, we want $500,000.
Yeah, we have $500,000 up front, and then Evercade goes, okay, if we got the money, great. They'll do their sales projection. They say, okay, we'll earn our $500,000 back. So then we're neutral. We paid for the investment, and then it's a revenue share after that.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that's kind of the big
and then
thing.
If there's marketing involved, that's a co-cost. So if they have to market it, like sometimes the IP will put in marketing dollars or excuse your marketing from their royalty payments. So if you're going to say, I'm going to market this cart for $100,000 a month for the first 6 months, that $100,000, you don't have to, that goes on top of what you earn back before you give royalties back to that. Because unless they pay for it, the IP sometimes will pay for your marketing, and so they can get royalties back faster, stuff like that.
Gotcha. Cool.
I'm overgeneralizing because I'm not a lawyer, but
right.
But that's the gist of it.
Yeah. Gotcha. So it's that initial licensing fee that maybe they can't.
That's how you get your guaranteed income, right? As an IP, like you say, oh yeah, I want all my money up front. Then you can earn your money back, and then we'll all get lovely royalties till the end of time, until the license runs out. And then once the license runs out, you can no longer sell the actual good, and that's why Evercade is vaulting. I think that's the word we should use, vaulting their collections, because they don't have the rights to sell it anymore because the deal ran out. So that's why you see games get delisted off the stores all the time in video games, is because they ran out. They can't legally sell it anymore.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh wow. Warner Brothers might be selling their.
Well, you gotta understand now. You gotta have deep pockets to get an IP, right? Like, does Evercade have hundreds of thousands lying around to just pay it and then incur losses until they ship the product?
Yeah. So I would say, as minor speculation, just based on history of small companies, that they are not in that position.
Yeah,
currently.
You gotta be cash flush to do big deals like that.
You know, I'm not saying that they're not doing okay. I mean, I think they are actually doing pretty good.
Oh, I think they are too.
But I don't think they're not quite there yet to just be like, let's put a whole chunk on the line, you know, for whatever X license or whatever. I don't think they're there yet.
Yeah, well, exactly right. So here's the question that you have to ask yourself. I think here's the problem. And so, okay, now that I just explained that, Pete, and it makes sense. You said Blaze is a hardware company. The problem is they're spending too much of that money on the hardware instead of going after licenses. Like that's I think that's like clear. And I'm hoping
I think that's what's allowing them to get cash flush is the hardware. Their markup and their profit margins on hardware is really high because they're using tech from 20 years ago, 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. If you build it in scale more than 10 or 20,000 units at a time, it's costing you pennies on the dollar to produce it. Where they occur, most of their costs is shipping and distribution, right? So that's why Funstock and Evercade's kind of the same company, I think. Me and Crow did an investigation about that. We think they are, because then they have the distribution arm and their own arm.
I'd be surprised
that's where they get
not.
the money to go out and get it. They wouldn't be producing hardware at the rate they are if they weren't making a lot of money on it. Like that's how I see it. It's like Little Caesars, right? Why can Little Caesars sell their pizza at $5? Because guess what? They have the best distribution system for their ingredients in the United States. They have 5 distribution centers all over the United States that supply every one of their restaurants constantly with low-cost ingredients. And another thing, they don't use mozzarella as their cheese. They use a unique blend that allows them to keep their cost control down. So Little Caesars, everybody mocks at them, but they are one of the highest profit margin in fast food, and they've been that way for 40, 50 years. Gotcha. So distribution is key, right? So that's why I think Evercade and Funstock, if they're not the same company, they're very close, and that allows them to lower that cost now.
They're as different as Blaze and Hyper Mega Tech.
Sorry, I do all this stuff for a living, so like
no, that's awesome. I love the insight. That's awesome.
Yeah. So like I always study how other companies do things and stuff like that. So I'm sure that's why it allows them to go out and say, hey, Capcom, we want to put 16 games on your cart. We want your license. And Capcom says, well, if you want hardware, it's $1 million, for example. But if you want software, it's $500,000. That's the upfront fee.
Yeah.
So then they'll look at their books and say, hey, which makes the more sense for our business, right?
Okay. So maybe you can clarify this, Pete. So then why would they not give us a cart, though, in the licensing deal?
The cost of it, right? So the deal, when you go and approach a deal, especially in the last 20 years, 10 years, it's all about, do you want the digital rights, the physical rights, or both? And when you go for physical rights, it's a much more expensive endeavor because you actually have to have because you've got the digital rights too. You have to actually now do the manufacture, and it's shared cost of getting it printed, getting on disc, and stuff like that. So it's much more. And plus, a lot of companies are little, like maybe they don't want you to have it in a physical space because they have another deal with another company like Nintendo that has a physical version of that, and they don't want to upset that competition, or they don't want to imbalance it, stuff like that. So it's a lot of deals like that. Digital is much easier to get.
Gotcha. So they might be making them pay. Or Blaze is like,
right?
Capcom's like, yeah. They're like, well, you guys are going to make the Evercade Alpha anyway, so you're going to be responsible for the hardware costs, and they just pay them a licensing fee to. Maybe that's why the Alpha is so expensive too. That would explain.
No, it's expensive because the parts are expensive.
Yeah. It's easier if they had a disc-based system, it'd be much easier to get.
Anybody that is saying, "Oh, well, I could build that for less than $100," and then you go through their list, they're just like saying, "Well, I already have this, so that doesn't cost me anything."
Their parts list. That's why they're 10, 15 years behind in hardware because it's super affordable, right? You can go to any Chinese factory or Bangladeshi factory and be able source those parts really, really cheaply because they were created in such quantity, and they're easier today to still create those chipsets and stuff, right? So
Nice, makes sense. No, I was comparing the cost. Like they're wanting like $300. If you look at most other tables, they're like half that. They're sub like 200.
Wait, who?
But I think you're seeing
Arcade
a little bit of the hardware stuff kind of bite them back now with the alpha. It hasn't sold out. Their special editions are still not sold out yet. Like it's a big. I think they probably pushed as far as they can with their products at that price level. Like when you got a super fan like me backing off of the special editions and going with the cheaper edition, but still kind of not liking that price. They probably hit the crescendo moment of like, let's not go.
Well,
like if
I
think
the alpha was going to be a hard sell anyway, just because the people that got in with the Evercade got into it because of the price being so affordable.
Exactly.
And then they put out something that's not. Most people I don't think are going to go, even though I did, because that's the kind of thing I like. Mm-hmm. I know that a lot of people wouldn't be interested in that just because of the price. That's why
it's $468 Canadian to get that from Funstock.
Yeah, that's why I didn't think they'd do a mini arcade thing, because I was like, "There's no way they."
I wanted it, but I was shocked they did it. Like I've been saying for 3 years, I said they're going to do it, and I was like, I was egging them on.
And I kept thinking, no, they're not, because they're not going to put out something that people would have to pay over $200 for.
Yeah. But like I was like, like I said, I don't need the expensive one because I'm not in tune enough with arcade sticks to really care about the Wawa or whatever sticks that come with
Sanwa. Yeah, I was more interested in that because of that.
That's the difference, right?
I did like having all the marquees and stuff too. So
because I played arcades in the 70s and 80s, and trust me, the sticks we get today the sticks on the Evercade are better than those sticks I played back in the day in the arcade.
Well, in the day in the arcade, you're talking about arcade sticks that have been used for thousands and thousands of hours.
But they weren't great anyway in the 70s, 80s, because the technology wasn't there that really came out in the 90s in arcades, right? That's what you're talking about with this Wawa sticks. That stuff did not exist in the 70s and 80s on arcades.
I don't really know, actually, to be honest.
No, I can guarantee
that was more of a if it did, it was in Japan. It was the Japanese stuff.
Yeah, and I'm in North America, so you know what I mean? No, I'm just saying it's not enough for me to spend extra.
Right. Oh, I do congrats to Dan for being a channel member for 9 months. So I appreciate it, Dan.
Sucker, Dan. You're a sucker. Come join my channel too.
Kane Saga on Evercade is intermittent. Yeah, a lot of people have been saying that.
But it's interesting, right? That's why I kind of have like a different opinion on Evercade. It's like I see both sides of it. So like, I want to challenge them as a fan, but I understand the challenges they have as a business. It's like, it's not hard to put a product. It's very hard to put a product on the market, let alone a product people all like, which we can tell, right? Like we're all have different opinions on the Tomb Raider collection. Rich just can't wait for it, but he knows it's flawed. Yeah. I know it's flawed, but I ordered it anyway because I'm a super fan, right? Crow's not interested in really playing it, so
For me, it'll be great content. I look forward to streaming it.
It's not a real fan.
Well, I have nostalgia of the first Tomb Raider on PlayStation 1.
No, I'm joking. I'm just saying you're building a brand, right?
Trying to.
1982.
Well, see, that's kind of the thing, and it would actually be nice to actually get some of these bigger hitters that people might actually want to have an interest with, and then they might watch my channel. Yeah, I'm not going to lie.
A question: will we see competition in this space? Would you ever see a day where somebody might come into space and have similar things, like a hardware, like doing the same thing that Evercade is trying to do with the?
I think so, because they have tried in the past. What I'm thinking about is that the Neo Geo Gold thing had those special. They had the cards you could insert into the system for more games.
Evercade built that. Blaze built that. The Neo Geo Gold or whatever.
Oh yeah, okay. So they did that.
Yeah, that was Blaze's first product. I own it actually. It sucks. It overeats. It's just.
Yeah, I never got that because I didn't hear anything but bad things about it.
Yeah, and it was super expensive back in the day too. But it was ingenious. It was the Switch before the Switch. Huh. So basically, you got a docking station, and then you got a device. Like it looks almost like, to be honest with you, if I pull mine out now, you'd think it was an Evercade from distance.
Well, if you think about it,
Right?
that when the second version of the PSP was the Switch before the Switch, because you could have an adapter and plug it right into a TV.
That's true.
I would say technically there's one company that Atari. I mean, they're just their Atari cards, but technically they've kind of been doing it. Now there is one company
Hit the power button on this. You just gotta touch the device and it powers on.
There's one company that could kill at doing this, but they'll never do it, and that's Nintendo. If they made like a new Nintendo Mini and put out multi-cards with their game, they'll never do it because Nintendo is so out of touch. But they would destroy that space if they did.
Well, I don't know if I'd say they're out of touch. I don't know how many people are clamoring to go back and buy physical media again. A lot of people rather buy it digitally. We're the exception, you know.
Yeah, I think the issue with that though, I mean, maybe not, because they've been doing a lot of great work with other developers. Is if they put out a Nintendo console with those little cartridge things with collections, then it kind of eliminates the beauty of Evercade, where it's not just NES, SNES, but then Mega Drive and Sega Master System and PlayStation and everything else. I mean, Nintendo's not going to put, like multi-cart that has PlayStation games on it on their Nintendo console. Like, it's just not going to happen. So like that's the beauty of Evercade. The Evercade is like, it is the multi, like the multi-console rainbow is just everything in one. And I think that's their killer app, is that you could literally put out a cart that has any game from almost any system as long as they had the licenses for it on there. But like if you bought something that looked like an NES or an SNES or whatever, even if it played SNES all the way through Nintendo 64, right? You're in that one ecosystem. Now, granted, that's not like it's a bad thing to have, still thousands of games you could choose from, but it would be limited, in my opinion, as far as like what you could see. I don't think you'd see those other systems on a.
No, but you wouldn't need to, because Nintendo has the brand recognition. So if they put up, because like the Nintendo Mini, that sold out. See, that sold out. But see, Nintendo doesn't want to compete with themselves. They want you to rent their games, so they'll never.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. You're absolutely right. I mean, and even something like a project, even a project like the NES Nintendo World Championships NES edition, like it's a small subset of their games. That's not even like the full game. It's like their little
exactly.
And
that's why I say they're out of touch.
But even though that is still an ingenious product, because
we'll have to debate that on card.
I mean, because like it just taps in. I'm
glad you enjoy it, but I don't know. It's Nintendo.
Yeah, that actually kind of surprises me. That you've got that, but they don't let you play the full game.
Yeah,
to me, it doesn't even.
It's meant as a remix.
It's like to me, it doesn't even seem like there's that many games included on it.
Nope.
In the mix, it's only like 14.
No, you don't.
Do you want, because they want you to go buy the subscription to play the NES game?
Exactly.
Which is funny because me and Rich talked about this. I bought the NES collection, the World Champ. I love it, but I went and finished Zelda again. I hadn't finished Zelda in 30 years, and I went and finished Zelda again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I have now more confidence for most of these games than I've ever had in the past, just on playing those little mini games.
Yeah, they're a riff on the remixes, right, from the 3DS or the DS.
Yeah, 100%. But
the 3DS
I think it's
better, actually.
I mean, I don't want to turn this into the NWC podcast, but it's like it's so ingenious the way that they set up the challenges, because if it hooks you, then you're in. You're in for forever. You're playing forever. You're playing it every day. Like so right now, mine is at my Switch console is at work, because every day at lunch, everyone in the office is playing. And we've never had a game like that in years. There's never been a game where you just sit there.
Yeah, it is.
Literally every day be playing and just be that hooked. You know what I mean?
But the problem though, see, the thing that I maybe is that Nintendo wants people to feel good about themselves. Like, they give you a challenge, like, how fast can you walk from here over to there? And like, it's not, do I dare say, like real speed running, where there's a limit, where like pretty much you'll have like, let's say like 20,000 people that can do that thing in 4 seconds, but that's like the best time that you can get. So you don't have
but it might not be. But it might not be
games for different people,
because like the speedrunning community blew up. It's like the 4th highest played game on speedrun.com right now.
I've never ever went to that
It's
site.
crazy.
I have no interest to watch people
It's
speedrun.
crazy. Yeah,
I know you guys like it.
in.
I am
I'm
not.
actually more interested in the task runs. If any,
I actually
more than
have
anything else.
times on the board.
What?
I actually have
Ooh.
times on the board at speedrun.com for NWC.
Awesome.
And that's and no other game got me in to doing that except for Doodle World on Indie Heroes, because I tried to do
Nice.
some runs on Doodle World.
Why does it take forever to update a game? Update the Evercade. I've been updating system like 5 minutes now, and it's still.
Oh
like,
yeah, I forgot about that.
This update was a little bit longer. Yeah.
I put an anti-glare on my EXP, and it's messed up, dude. It's like everything's blurry now.
Yeah,
I think the anti-glare is good.
Oh,
I got.
Do you have the anti-glare?
I don't
thing.
like this.
That's what that does.
I would kill on Slim.
But my
Slow
anti-glare on my
runs.
Steam Deck doesn't do that.
Yeah, I don't like protective glass of anything because I don't even use one on
You're
my
a rebel.
phone. Well, it's the trade-off. I think you don't get as good look of a screen, or you don't get it as good as of a touch. But
Yeah, some people like the Steam Deck OLED as the anti-glare on. I love it. It's great for capture too. So
I think I'm
I
gonna
wish
skip
my
it.
oh
It's
yeah,
on the same
for
type,
capture definitely because
I wish my Switch had anti-glare because
Yeah.
without that it just everything you got to have it angled in the right way. Like
yeah.
All right.
yeah,
I think I'm gonna skip on the EXP. I'm gonna leave Austin's 8-bit on the EXP, but I'm
Ooh.
gonna update my VS.
I'm updating it because Jane Austen is just awesome, and I want to finish it for real, so I have a proper save state.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not only that, if you don't update it and you skip to the next version, then you risk on the update could possibly blow up, and you might have to get the thing.
Yeah, they need to solve that. That happened to me so many times. How many times in the last 4 years I had to talk about where I had to email support to get a better firmware because it got screwed up my device.
Yeah.
Which is sad
That's why-
because one by my TV is 4 updates behind, and I know when I update that, it's going to brick it.
Oh no. Yeah. Same with the carts. That's why I update the carts right away too, because I don't want to deal with all that nonsense.
Which is probably one of the best things they did was that being able to update the cards when you put it in. That's pretty cool. But I keep my actual player right here, my black Evercade. Geez, there's so many different color Evercades now, but that one is the one I use mostly. The one over on there is my original Evercade, and that's for multiplayer.
Yeah, I hope they get to the point though where like maybe you could actually like if you had an issue with the cart, they could like reimage it, or they could like push that down to you and you could reimage the
I
cart.
don't know. Cattle defense? Oh wait, collie defense. Oh, that looks cool.
Yeah, collie defense. Yeah.
Ask about the Everest. It's funny because people bring this up. Like, so what's interesting, especially with here's my thought, kind of in general, like for stuff like that. Like if a device is meant to be a certain purpose and you jailbreak it, then to me like it defeats the purpose. Like you could do that, but you could buy other devices that could, that are a lot more friendly to emulate stuff if you don't care about physical media.
Yeah,
Well,
I've
I think
thought about buying it actually, but then I always stop myself because I'm like, well, why would I buy this when I can get another device? Like I have the Steam Deck now, so
Yeah.
I don't need an EverSD because I could just play all that stuff emulated on the Steam Deck if I wanted
Yeah,
to.
I think the only reason to have a device like that is if you knew people that were in the development community
Yes.
and people are like, hey, I want you to test my game. And it's like, it's an SNES game, it's an NES game, it's a whatever. And then, then they're actively trying to get it onto an Evercade, because I've been in those situations before where I know some independent developers that are trying to make NES games, and one of their eventual landing zones is the Evercade. And it's like, that would be cool because I'm in conversations with those people. They're like, oh, hey, can you play my game on Evercade? And I'd be, oh, sweet, I have this little thing. So yeah, I'll just pop your ROM on there and I'll test your game, and then it'll be great. That's that for me. I'd be down. I'd be down for using it like that.
I tried using their software to upgrade the firmware in the VS itself, just so I would be able to play the Namco carts, and I couldn't get it to work for some reason.
Oh. I don't know. I mean, I don't know about what they're doing to create their software because again, it's you're using unlicensed software on a device that you know.
Yeah, I don't really have a.
It's not really meant for it. So in that sense, like, okay, I'm not really down with that. But at the same time,
Oh, I mean, if you
there
want to
was
do
like
that, I
a,
think you could do that for sure if you wanted to.
if there was like a, I don't know, if there was like a I don't know, safe way or whatever of doing all that, I mean, yeah, I'd be totally down with that.
Yeah, I think what Evercade should do, like, I don't really care what EverSD does. Look, if they want to do their thing, it's harmless and doesn't hurt me.
Right.
I think Evercade should probably look at it and say, hey, what are they doing that we could probably incorporate in future hardware? Like, I like the idea. The one thing I do like is backing up your library, being able to install. If I put my card in, install it to some type of memory on the device, that would be awesome. I think just to be able to do that would be great. Because if I've legally owned it, put it on my device.
Yeah, I don't think they will do that though, because
I know I'm not saying that that's what I want if they did do anything.
I mean, that would be nice if you could do that, but I just think that they wouldn't do that because there's nothing to stop you from like, oh, I'm going to copy the game's over and then sell the cartridge.
Yeah, exactly. But at least then they made money on that first sale. But I don't know, dude. I don't care, to be honest.
But they would kind of lose. They would lose a sale on somebody that would want to buy it, and they buy it used instead of.
It's like trading games back in the day, or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So here's my. Let's say if they even had like a reader and I could dump my own carts, it would be way too much work. Like I would just like it's just so much easier to set up something like EmuDeck or another device and just put the ROMs on it. If you really want to back up.
Yeah, I mean Polymega is that system right now, Crow.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Polymega is I can borrow every PlayStation game you have, install it in mine, send it back to you.
Yeah, if you were looking at backup games, yeah,
they're not selling. Yeah, they're not making. No one's making money off of that. You know,
but if you know where to go, there's nothing to stop you from just
nothing to stop you from doing that now, right? Like,
because I was going to say, technically, with maybe except for some of the tweaks, all those games are out there either on the archive or you can buy them on Steam.
I mean, like they're already in that space where all these games are available if you look, right?
Yeah.
I think they're about. Hey, it's all about the physical media, the community, all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, I'm basically buying the Evercade stuff just because it's kind of just something you could put on a shelf. It's just kind of like a, hey, look what I have.
It's my retirement because I'm going to sell all those expensive Technos collections.
I'm actually surprised any Evercade card actually goes up in price, to be honest, you know?
Well, dude, you say that about anything. It's rarity and there's a desire.
Like, it's not like that's the only way you could possibly play those games.
Same as Little Samson, same as those games. It's Crow as a collector.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing where
contradicting yourself.
I guess you're right though. It is just a physical thing.
What makes
it's like, well, I have the physically. I actually own the game. That kind of thing. You know,
exactly, and you want a complete collection. So, like, that's I joke, but
I disagree with the statement. Like, not necessarily when, it's if. So the problem is Time Eternal. So here's the thing.
That was great.
That is hilarious.
That was hilarious. Can we screen cap Ed like this?
That's
and do memes with something in between them? And do memes like he's holding like a Subway sandwich.
What was funny was like you were disagreeing about backing up your games.
Well, so yes, so like the thing is, this like okay, like it defeats the whole it defeats the whole purpose. My experience has been, if a card's going to fail, it's usually going to fail like early on. I think sometimes.
I will totally disagree with that. That's not necessarily true.
But I'll tell you why. Because but you don't get to your cards right away or burn them in. And I think some people let them like sit there for weeks and months. And that's if you put in hours to it. Because if you're going to go through that trouble, then you might as well just like.
No,
somebody needs to.
My argument is like
the internet's shutting me down, guys.
In between them.
My argument is like with Dreamcast games.
The internet's shutting me down.
Fine at first, but some of those earlier Dreamcast games, the CDs will just kind of separate and they'll stop working.
Yeah. Well, that happens with all sorts of different CDs too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I guess what I'm saying is I think there's some people that have too much of a level of paranoia, or it's more fun to.
Paranoia. Someone's trying to tell you something.
Poor Ed.
Well, I will say that's part of the reason why I decided to sell off a lot of my video game collection is because the things over time do stop working.
Yep.
And I'd like to sell it while it is working.
Yeah. Your Funko Pops won't stop working.
Yeah,
That's true.
They're doing a good job in the background. They'll never
Yeah.
stop.
They're always
It's mine.
Yeah,
There.
until they start like jumping off the shelves.
Well, the funny thing is,
that's
most of
happened
my
a few
stuff is
times.
behind my Switch collection.
So that's why I said it.
Well, I got
One time,
picked up
I
an
was actually in a
Xbox game.
meeting for work and
StreamYard might be-
collapsed on me.
I picked up a new Xbox game last weekend, and I looked at the disc, and you could start seeing kind of where it's going to need to be cleaned because it's
Yeah.
starting to different colors on it. Which is kinda
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, it's
That's why I don't-
it's not amazing.
Yeah. That's why I don't like CD and DVD disc media, because I think they're the most volatile over time. They can get scratched, and yeah.
Don't they have like a 6
And it's kind of funny because when they first came out, they were like, "Oh, this will last forever," as long as you take care of it.
And this
that wasn't true.
But they didn't know any better, right? Like they had no
I
clue.
guess, yeah.
Yeah, it's 100% why I own a Polymega. That's it.
Yeah, I love my Polymega. It's right
Like,
here.
I mean, to me, it was worth.
This is worth a fortune now.
Worth the
original.
price. It was. Oh, hey, I got one of these.
This is the original.
Yeah.
You got the original? How'd you get the original?
They put them on sale again. They found some in a box.
Oh,
They had
sweet.
They had a flash sale. They're like, oh, hey, we got some. We'll put it on until they sell out.
Yeah,
It only lasted like 5 hours.
Yeah, I
But-
picked up Open Ice for the PlayStation, which was the greatest arcade hockey game ever on PlayStation. It won't work on Polymega, and I'm super pissed off.
Oh, really?
It keeps saying insert disc.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, so they don't have a good ROM of it. So
Oh wait, I think I have to worry about.
Internet went.
Speaking of that stuff. I have
Does
to-
your
I was-
disc work in a real PlayStation?
oh, there you
Just
go.
out of curiosity, I wonder if there's something maybe wrong with the disc.
no, it plays on my backwards
Okay, I just-
compatible PlayStation.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, no, it plays
That's-
great, which is great because on my main area over here, where like you guys can't see it, but like over here where my main area is, that's where I play all my games really. Over there. My people who members of my channel have seen all that before because I do
Yep.
tours and that
I
stuff.
remember that.
But yeah,
Nice. Oh my god, my new big stable. I will tell you that like there's been some construction in this area, and I think they keep cutting the line. I don't know, and they said they're going to put in a permanent fix, but it always happens like when I'm streaming last night or not. It always happens. I don't know why.
Switch.
Tails, I don't know what you mean. Do you not cover the Polymega video wise, Pete? Yeah, I do
That's
kind
what
of
I
in
do.
my members videos. I've got like anything that's not Steam Deck, Switch, or Evercade goes to members.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
I got tons of stupid videos there, Genesis and Vita and stuff like that.
Oh, maybe that's because maybe I just when I see those, I don't assume that it's a members only video.
You're not a member anymore.
I'm not a member anymore.
No,
What did you change your tiers?
no,
You change your tiers on me, Pete?
no.
Oh, I gotta do that.
Don't worry, you don't have to.
That's kind of happened to me where I've
It was
supported
Phantom.
people on
Phantom
Patreon.
made me.
I've supported some people on Patreon, and then when my debit card gets replaced with a new number or something like that, I don't get notification.
Yeah,
It's
that,
not.
that happens to me all the time. Actually, it might have happened to me with some other. Oh, I gotta check my stuff now.
Yeah.
See?
Remember when you back in the day you get a new cell phone, you had to get a new phone number?
Yes.
That really messed me up because I went through about 10 phones in about 6 years and I had to get new phones, which was crazy.
I've never had to do that. I got one phone number in my life.
I've
And
had three.
I've been able to use the same phone number, like
Yeah.
no matter what phone I used, or
It depends on your carrier. Yeah, you could still keep it. Yeah, I think it depends. on your carrier.
Polymega app is it's I don't know. It's nebulous.
This is Polymega. You have to understand Polymega. They have bursts of knowledge or bursts of communication. Three
Yes.
times a year, they go nuts with communication, and they're
100%.
dark the rest of the year.
100%.
Just get used to it.
That is
That's who they
absolutely 100% correct.
They only talk when they have products available.
Yes. Yeah. It was, when we got something.
Do
for
not
you-
update your Polymega because it'll
Oh no.
mess your system.
And it is possible though, if you wind up buying a base unit, because every once in a while they'll have them on stock. So if you buy a base unit and you get it, and then it's on the beta firmware, like it's on the early firmware, it is possible to upgrade all the way to 1.1.23 without going to 3.1 or 3.0.
Oh,
the
okay.
bad updates. But you have to either have a Nighthawk router and pull your internet connection, or upgrade until the point where the LAN adapter works, and then actually just pull the cable. Because the LAN adapter won't work on the beta firmware, which is weird. But anyway,
It all works with wireless, though, right?
That's your Polymega minute.
Yeah,
Wow.
Like, Rich is the main Polymega guy now.
Yeah, if you want to see a lot of
stream,
Polymega
though,
stuff, I'm doing all sorts of crazy stuff.
When I do stream, I stream Polymega quite a bit.
Yeah.
Stop it, Crypto Coffee.
When's the Amico going on sale? I don't know, man. Ask John. John knows.
Who gives a rat's ass?
John knows the answer. All I know is I'm playing. All I know is I'm playing some games and testing that I've been wanting to play for a very long time, and I'm happy. So that's good. That's where we're at with that. They're all coming out soon though, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to what Atari does with the Intelligent library too.
100%.
Somebody was saying their new collection they're putting it on Switch is going to have some Intelligent games.
No, it's the M Network stuff, but yes,
it's so Dark Cavern stuff like that. Which I still say to this day, and I said for years, Dark Cavern is much more playable than the Intelligent.
The Night Stalker.
Yeah,
I agree with you. I agree.
Because it's easier to shoot,
and it is. But Dark Cavern's already on the whatchamacallit. Dark Cavern's already on Atari VCS. Yeah, it was like $1. Thanks, Tails.
Yeah, you won't see Pitfall because that's Activision.
Yeah, Atari doesn't own that.
Yeah, no, that's a Microsoft.
50th best games. Well,
I'm just happy
all
that
Activision games are great. There's like 40-something Activision games on Atari.
Yeah.
They're all not great. Like there's.
Yeah, I would say more than half of them are pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'd say 60% really good.
Yeah, for sure. I would love to get that. I would love to get those.
They did. They have. There's 2 in television.
Yeah, there's 2 in television.
This guy right here, in Television Collection 1. This is straight in television.
Yeah.
This is in television entertainment in television, actually. Courtesy of that guy right here.
Yeah, they're gonna get vaulted soon.
That guy right there.
Or wait, have they been?
If it wasn't for that guy, you wouldn't see these collections. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it's true.
And then they did it. And then they came back again. Oh no, is he gonna fall? Oh, whew.
Yeah, when they were negotiating
that,
I knew what was on 1 and 2, like well before it was ever released, which one's going on 1 and which one's going on 2.
Yeah.
I wonder that's going to get vaulted, right? Now with Atari owning the rights to the brand.
I'm sure that. Well, you know what though? I'm not sure because in the sale, there was very specific language about any properties that were in television entertainment properties still being available for sale, and those funds directly going back to Intellivision Entertainment. So that actually might not happen. That licensing deal, as long as Blaze renegotiates now with Amico Entertainment, they still should be able to sell those on that license. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yep. So because it says it, because I read the press. I mean, I read all that stuff. So I read the press release, and in that, like all existing deals, all existing like licensing and all that kind of stuff, they retain all that stuff. Yeah. It's just anything new they have to go to Atari in order to get, but they still have access to the library.
How many M Network games are there?
13?
That would be a cool collection to have, and then get the iMagic collection.
That would be cool.
The iMagic collection.
Oh,
but that's you have to go back to Microsoft for that because Activision owns the iMagic stuff, right?
Yeah, I don't think you'd be able to get them all because they'd have to get.
It would be awesome. I would see
that would be a huge.
That would be that long sought after collection. If it's not this, it's got to be.
Man.
How many people have said
Activision
Activision
collection
over and over again?
With Pitfall.
What a bomb that would be.
Oh man, Sequest, Frostbite, which is my favorite game of all time. Like, I love that game to death. Like those 3 games are bangers. That like you wouldn't need to put any other games on there, but though. And Pitfall 2, hello, greatest theme song ever in a video game.
Unfortunately, though, guys, I did say that out loud, so it's not going to be that. I did just say that out loud, so I apologize for ruining that for everyone.
They tried the ColecoVision collection. Andrew and them tried a while ago. It's just nobody knows who owns the rights to all the games, so it would be a minefield to figure that out.
Yeah, it's not.
And they didn't have any
anymore.
They didn't have any. they didn't own any of the licenses, Coleco. Most of their games were licensed from other places, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
They didn't have any really
They went
individual
after
IP.
licenses Atari didn't have, like X.
Yeah, they didn't really create their own games. Like Atari created like 125 of their own games, right? Coleco really didn't do that.
Yeah. Oh, that's where that is.
Well, I have all the Activision collections. I just picked up that last weekend, the PS2 version of the Activision collections, the one I was missing.
Oh, that's cool. I like the box art on that one.
It's boring.
No?
It's right here. I'll show you.
I love the one for Game Boy Advance. Like that's such a they could just port that over everything.
I might even
I
have
thought it looked like an old Atari cart. The Activision one. Yeah.
How much did I pay for that?
Very cool.
12 bucks Canadian.
It looks like an old school. I mean, it's weird because
Yeah.
Activision never had labels.
Yeah,
like
I got
that.
it too.
Yeah.
I bet you didn't pay as cheap as I did. 12 bucks Canadian.
I
that's
probably
cool.
bought this brand new when it originally came out.
That's awesome. I like it. I don't know. I mean,
I
I'm a
haven't played it yet.
sucker for
play it soon.
nostalgic stuff.
Are you guys like that, like me? Like if I buy a game, I leave the receipt in.
I do that sometimes.
I do that
I
sometimes.
sometimes do
Yeah.
that.
If it's new, if I buy it brand new, I put the receipt in there.
That's why
Why
I
do you-
keep my PlayStation 3 OG, is because I can just pop my PS2 and PS1 games in there and play, right?
Or it could be like the last 3 things that I bought outside of the NES edition of Nintendo World Championships. Is I buy a game and it's been sealed now for 3 years. The last 3 games that I bought were all Final Fantasy VII related. I bought Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and the new one, Rebirth, and all 3 of them are the big edition. They're all sealed.
Yeah. I mean, like I don't think we really don't need the Activision collection on Evercade. It's kind of a personal wish list because we can play them all
100%.
on every other
That's almost
collection.
any
Everybody
of these
games.
games.
Exactly. Yeah.
I
I mean,
don't think
on the ALU, you can get I can get them all on the ALU. So like it is that, but
We're the worst show ever.
I won't do it now because in order to buy the games on the ALU, I'd have to update, and I'm not updating the
Yeah.
again. Because they took away CoinOps X, which is sad. I understand why they did it, but I'm never updating my ALU ever again. So, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's I think it's one of those things where, there might be more people that want that than we even realize. So, I don't know. It'd be cool. It'd be cool.
Activision collection would be huge. It would bring in a.
I think it still would be huge. I think it'd be a good announcement, and it would fit in that niche category, and it would fit in the whole thing where people would freak out about it, and then we'd have it, and then it'd be done. But
yeah, people would stop talking about it the second it was released.
yeah, right. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's exactly what would happen. So, yeah, it's kind of a crazy thing.
Except for me, I'd talk about it like 6 months later.
Right. Well, see, you know what? Papa Brad has a good
You
point.
should be caught up now.
They put out the Super Pocket, and it sold out really quickly, and that is absolutely correct.
Yeah, because everybody loves a little wood.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
that is true.
Yeah.
That is the thing.
Well, I kind of figured
I need to stop talking. You're right, fan.
Atari's fan base.
I need to
is
shut up.
Probably, I think the 4th biggest fan bases in gaming is probably, PlayStation, Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, and Atari. I mean,
yeah.
Just because, it's getting smaller because everybody's dying off. But
right. But yeah, it's cool. So, speaking of the whole thing with Game of the Month and all that stuff, because we were updating our VSs and EXPs, did anyone actually play Kali Defense yet or no?
I'll
No.
play it when it actually gets released on cartridge.
No, because I need content and because of the ever delays. So
You're gonna is that Thursday's video?
Unless they do another announcement, which, you know what, with the exception of the Indie Heroes collections, I think this is the first time since they've gone to the 2 cart every 2 month model, but they haven't said the second one. That was just really weird to me that, you know, they didn't.
Yeah. When they announced the bitmap, yeah. That's what makes me believe that second cart is big. Because
I was kind of expecting
like,
the
out.
next one
the
next day, like, because that's normal. Like, that's what happened in the past. It's like one day, and then the other one would come out the next day.
Yep.
But nothing yet.
Oh, a tower defense with more than 10 levels. Does that mean it's 11?
Yes.
I have no idea. I stopped paying attention.
It was part of the GBA Game Jam in 2022. It attained 3rd place out of more than 25 entries. And
unless these levels are like
another
half an
retro
hour
room
each, it's going to be like a really short game.
Yeah, it's another retro room game. So this is now the 3rd or 4th retro room game that's been on.
Oh, what retro room game did I just play that's on Indie Heroes 3?
Was it the Magic one?
Let's see, retro
Magic and Legend Time Nights.
Oh, is that one of theirs? They must have more than one.
Yes.
No, that's Monkey Magic.
Monkey Magic?
The retro room. It's big to small.
Oh, big to small. Yeah, big to small. And Magic to Legend Timelines are both on.
I actually finished that one earlier this week. That one took me like 3 days.
And Quest Arrest on Indie Heroes 1 is also retro.
Okay. That one was a lot
Quest
shorter.
Arrest was interesting, but it was way too short.
It was a little short.
Cool.
I mean, the thing is, though, you know, I think what happens, though, is like a lot of these games come out of these game jams, and then they do a quick crowdfunding round, and then they finish the project up as to like, oh, hey, here's a more expanded version of this demo, you know, and
that'd be cool.
You wind up getting like a good hour out of it. Yeah, that's cool. It's cool.
Hey, Tails, can you expand on do you mean like, do you think if people could only buy one or the other, the latest alpha or 11 carts? You need to expand on that. I don't understand the poll.
Poll for Ed. 11 of the latest carts or an alpha. Oh, reselling not considered. Okay.
I don't know what he means. Like, which
so, like, would you rather buy 11 of the latest carts or an
alpha?
Is that the question?
That's what I'm wondering.
I'd just take the carts.
Exactly.
Over, I mean, if it was going to be, do you get 11 carts or do you get an alpha? It's a giveaway.
Like a Blaze did?
Oh, well then it depends on what the carts are. If they're 11 brand new carts that I've never had before or an alpha, I'd still take the carts.
Me too.
In a giveaway. As long as I didn't own them before. But if it's like 11 of our greatest carts ever or an alpha, I'm taking the alpha because I already have it.
Or if they said like next year we'll give you all the carts that we're coming out with, or you can get the alpha.
Exactly. Like a free year of carts. Or
I'd take free year of carts.
Take a free year of carts.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah, 100%.
That might be kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Tails is asking, like, under what circumstances would you like an alpha? They're going to get me eventually, is what I'm going to say. But I don't know. I need a reason other than just to have it in order to get it.
It's the money.
That was the reason you bought all the other stuff.
That's true. Well, the other reason I bought hardware though was because I wanted to I wanted to like have the different functionalities of the hardware, but I have that thing, and I don't know if I want a smaller one of those things, and that's the problem. Because it's like it gets that whole like I don't know where to put it. It's a little too big just to have it on my desk at work, and a little too small to put it in an open area where kids could play it. And where I work,
I'll worry about where to put it when I get it.
Yeah, so I'm like, no,
I'll tell you that the time to get it is when you walk into a Best Buy and it's on sale for like $100 or less. That's probably when I.
When have you ever walked into a Best Buy and saw anything Evercade related?
Not ever. No, but yeah, true. But you know what I mean.
I ever saw that happen was at the EXP launch.
Like the one-up model, right?
They had EXPs on the shelf at the Bridgewater Best Buy, and they had carts on the shelf, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. But I have all those, so no.
I've never seen that.
And then I never saw them again.
Yeah, it'd have to be
They
like
were there
that
for like 2 months,
like,
and then they did a refresh, and they'd be gone.
Yeah, they sell the stuff on the website, but not. I've never seen it in the store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the
Well,
only other time I ever seen a Blaze product was the Super Pockets, and they're consistently in the GameStop down the street from me.
No, that's what I'm saying. It would have to be on sale for me because kind of like the arcade 1-up model. That's why they were so popular in the beginning. Is you could get it for like under sub 300.
How did I never buy one of those? Like, I don't even. Like,
Well, they were 300, and the only reason I was able to get them sub 300 is because during Black Friday, Walmart was selling them for like a $50 off, so like $250. But I still thought at the time that those were just really expensive for as many games as you were getting.
It's not as much that it's the quality. Like I guess when it comes to for certain arcade stuff, like for me, I either want something that's higher quality or I'm happy emulating it. Like what I mean is like I want something like a Polycade or like a good quality like multicade. Otherwise, it's
but then you put it together like it's IKEA furniture.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. It's when it comes to certain things, yes, like light gun games or like racing games, like you can replicate that at home, but it's more on the expensive side. I think for me, then I would rather just play it the few times that I can in the arcade than have constant access to that. I don't know. Each their own, but like, yeah, 1-ups are getting ridiculous. They're like $500-$600.
Yeah,
that's like a lot.
Well, I think it's I think it's odd though that a lot of people that are looking at the 1-up community in general, it's like there's not a lot of energy right now for that kind of product, which is interesting. And it makes me wonder how it's going to perform.
It's probably because of the price. A lot of people are like cartridges being like $20, $25 each. That's not bad, especially when they're not releasing them super frequently. The hardware being around $100, that's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
But then you put out something that people aren't even sure if they want or not, and then it's way more than double the price of anything else. And
right.
People are going to balk at that. People would be more excited about it if it was $100.
Yeah.
See, what I would rather that Arcade 1-Up did is have a single, like, listen, I would pay like maybe $100 to $200 if somebody could do, let's say, something like Miss Pac-Man, but have it actually like look like it, feel good, be good control. I wouldn't care if it was just that one game on it, but I want, it's not going to have a CRT. But if it was something solid,
To me, I would think that's a waste. It's but then have the Evercade slot, the cartridge slot in it still.
No, I would just say just like in general for the arcade. Like I'm all about like single games and fewer games because less is more, and for me, like it keeps me more focused. I think people get like lost in like adding too many. That's why like for Evercade, I like the carts that have like 6 or less games. Usually, I gravitate towards being my favorite because it's like Blaze is like, okay, we're going to go for quality over quantity for some of the licenses. You know what I mean? That's all.
I mean, at least with like the At Games Legends stuff, you could plug in another device and like use the controls and the monitor and using it for an alternate purpose. So you're not, even if you get tired of the games that are on it, you still have a use for that equipment.
Mm.
Yeah, but then at that point, I would just rather get like another multi-K that's geared. Like again, that idea is it's like something that's sub $500. It's like a cheap, decent multi-Cade. So
it is a multi-Cade.
Well, but until they like screwed up with the firmware, you can't bring your own. You know what I mean? You can't bring your own.
Well, you can't like install it, but you can plug something else in it.
Well, that's
like I have the pinball one, so it's got 2 monitors. I can plug something into each monitor. If I could play it on the top monitor, I could play it on the bottom monitor.
Yeah.
And it's not even using the hardware, like the CPU or anything. It's kind of bypassing all of that. I'm really just using the controller and the screen, and that's it.
I'm surprised I haven't gotten an email from my ISP about like internet dropping. Dang it! So I keep checking my phone. They haven't like. No, but like, let me put it this way: if you're just going to use it as a pass through, I think that's too much money. Like, I would rather just buy like a good arcade controller and then plug that device into a TV.
I guess it's a bit different with the pinball because you have the cabinet. It's set up a certain way. Like with the arcade cabinet, I guess it's like if you want the feel of actually playing at an arcade cabinet, then you've got that.
So now you've led on to, and again, for me, like, part of the here's the thing for me that you can't capture at home, and I know this might sound kind of silly, but it's actually going to the arcade and having like the atmosphere. I mean, I guess maybe you can if you have a lot of money, but that's different. And like for me, that's kind of part of it as well.
That experience it's just not a thing anymore for a couple reasons. One, the arcades now are not like the arcades as they were in the 80s. And even if they were, you're not as young as you used to be. So right there is the reason that arcades never feel like the way they did, is because when's the last time you went to the arcade with your friends with a bunch of quarters, you know?
Not quarters. Dude, modern arcades are a lot of fun. Like my last before Kansas City trip.
I like but modern arcades are not like the arcades in the 80s,
so we
even
have
90s.
an arcade near us, about a 5-minute drive, that they rotate in 40 different machines. But there's as modern they go is late 90s, early 2000 Tato machines from Japan. That's it, and everything's from the 70s onward, black and white, and it's awesome. You walk in there. Like they got a counter, you can get a drink, you can get a beer, and you go in and play games. Man, it's so much fun. It's like when I was a kid, I didn't have beer, but you could get a chip or a drink, right? So it was really fun.
That's what I mean. It's just
you pay by an hour, so it's like $20 and you get 2 hours. That's a lot of gaming for $20.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. You still get the experience of the game.
It's like $30 for the day.
Yeah, I went in
$35 if you want to do the arcade and the pinball arcade.
I've realized going to those old arcades now that I'm really bad at the games I used to be really good at back when I was a kid. Like playing Popeye on the arcade machine, I used to easily get to the third stage, no problem, and now I struggle to get out of the first one on the arcade.
Yeah, so that's so kind of a phantom set of, so like, again, to each their own, that people that like to collect multiple arcade one-ups. But for me though, like if I was really going, I would just get, and some people do this where they just get like one main multicade that's like tricked out, that has like steering wheels and and again, those are really expensive. But even if you were going to collect like old real arcade, the cost up. But again, it depends what you're into. It depends if you like maintaining machines, and all that. I guess everything kind of has their place. I mean, people could say the same on Evercade, why don't you get real hardware? Because it's expensive as hell. You know what I mean? But yeah, for me, there's definitely an experience going to an arcade, whether it's a new arcade or an old arcade.
Oh, what's sad. Well, now I can understand why this might be short.
Oh, are you playing that?
Yeah, I was checking out some Call of Defense real quick.
How far did you get?
I got to level 5.
So you're halfway done with it already.
Yeah. And I think I can understand why it's
Crow, I just got a video link from you.
So you have to beat
in Discord.
Really? Because
it's from October 10th, 2021.
Oh, wow! How did you just get it?
I don't know.
That's
I added you. I invited you to my Discord.
Oh, you have a Discord again?
Yeah, this is the yeah.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, here we go. Yeah.
It's for members, but you're not a member, but you can come and play.
Oh.
It's for members, but you're in.
Oh, cool. I got one too. I'll join that.
That's fun times.
All right, we done?
Yeah, it's just like this kind of trailed off a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to go to the eye doctor. So
Yeah, why don't we plug our stuff? No, this has been awesome, and I like how we stepped into arcade territory. And all that cool stuff.
I can. What do I've got going on? So I just released a new video on the channel. It's about NASCAR. Is it NASCAR? No, I haven't released that one yet. But that's coming. Shh, don't tell. Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition. Played it on Steam Deck. Really, really interesting playthrough to the point where the controls are so bad I got used to it, and I can't go back to PC to play it. So I'm finishing the first campaign on that, and and I've got a Transformer video up on there, and I'm going to probably do a live stream either tonight or not tonight, probably tomorrow. I'll be doing a live stream. So yeah, checking it.
Sweet.
Very cool.
Crow Rich, what do you got going on?
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm getting back into the action after the vacation and all that kind of stuff. I shot a whole bunch of stuff while I was out on vacation, so I'm going to be putting together some stuff, and also then catching up on Atari VCS releases, Polymega, playing some NWC, all that kind of stuff. So it's good times.
With retro.
That's me.
Okay, who's doing your lawn?
What do you got going on, Crow?
Well, I'm still in the middle of playing through Indie Heroes 3. I'm more than halfway through it. But I did get this, so I have to make a video on this. Rich, did you know about this from Audacity Games?
Yeah. It actually launched on Atari VCS first about 8 months ago.
Well, I went to their website on a whim. I was like, oh, when's that other game coming out? And I was like, oh, this is coming out? And then I ordered it, and it came like within a week.
That's cool.
So yeah, I'll need to make a video on this.
Maybe. Yeah, they need to do that other one, Casey's Gold. Where is Casey's Gold?
That's what I thought was going to be released next. This just came out of nowhere from the guy who did Hero.
That's right. Yeah, it's a great game. It's cool. I like it.
So it kind of took me by surprise, but yeah. But other than that, I've just been kind of messing around. I've been experimenting. I've been making sleeves for Atari 2600 cartridges. For no reason at all.
That's pretty awesome.
Nice. And so yeah, on my channel, tonight I'll be streaming 9 p.m. Central. I think I might play more Evercade stuff. Last night was more like other things. And the next week, if there's news, I'll do that. It'll probably be Game of the Month. But yeah, that's what I got going on. Unless I get a chance, I may need to make like a video for the full Evercast song. I haven't forgotten. I still need to do that.
A video for the full Evercast what?
I'll tell you after.
All right, cool.
So we'll go ahead and we'll end it here. Thanks everyone. Like, subscribe, do all those cool YouTube awesome things for all of our channels and those of us who have memberships, which I think we all do, and all that awesome stuff. And most of all, thank you all for your time. And bye-bye. Thanks, Crash Line, Mr. Shua, Immortal Sojourn, Sucker MC, Ember Cummings, Joe Whitlash.